Okay, hello, welcome to this video for the Ultimate Swing Trader. In this video I wanted to talk to you a little bit about swing trading actually on some of the other markets besides just Forex, and to show you a little bit about in this example or these examples on futures trading. And one of the things that really indicates a really successful strategy is one that can actually work across multiple different market types. And obviously Forex, which we've been showing you, is quite a bit different than futures. And I want to show you a few recent futures trades using the strategy. And this would be this first one on the Treasury notes, the 10-year Treasury notes. Okay, and basically what you have here, this little dash line here, is where we went long. And this would have been on June 22nd, so really just this week. This is a current trade. And our first target was here. As you can see, just like Forex, it's very exact. Target 1, target 2, and then of course target 3 way up here. And just to give you an idea of like what is the value as far as when I go from my entry price, which shouldn't really move that, to right here, that's going to work out to be about, based upon the tick value here, about $750 when I get here, and another $750 when I get here, and so on. And then of course I have my stop down below as well. Once I get short, or I'm sorry, long, I've got this stop right here that will take me out of the trade should the trade not work. And you can kind of see as we progress along here, we ended up hitting the first target about 24 hours later right here. So at that point, what do? I raise my stop to break even per our trading rules. We keep this nice and simple. And at that point, I've taken off $750. And if I'm going for the second target and the third target, which is up here, then of course I would continue trading with a break even, no worse, on the balance. Now you see a brand new setup that happened here. I ignore that. I don't worry about new setups. Trying to keep this as simple as possible. I just want to kind of keep managing my existing trade as is. So I'm looking for that second line up there, and the scaling is going to change in a moment here, but you can see we kind of went sideways the rest of the day, went back down, back up. I mean, we're up at this point about $750, but we're fluctuating up and down. Again, this probably drives the day trader right crazy. When you go up and down and chop like that, it kind of eats you up. But with swing trading, we don't really have that concern as much. So we're kind of going up, going down, and let's see if we can kind of get this to move into, see, that's where the scaling changed, but this is that same one, that first target right there, that's that line, and my second target is way up top. You don't even see it yet. It's at 116.04, so we just gotta wait. Another day goes by, and now we're starting to get the move, and right there we hit that target, and that was actually today where we hit the second target. That's worth $1,500 on that second portion of the trade. And if you remember the rules, what happens with our stop? Well, our stop now becomes this level. So we raised it up from down below at the break even. Now we raise our stop to where we're going to do no worse than, in this case, the profit of $750 if we are targeting the third target. Now, a lot of people, they'll be done at this point depending upon the exit strategy that you use. But as you can see here on the T-notes, just in a couple days, we've got a nice trade. And that market has been trading really nicely. I mean, we've had a series of successful trades. We just finished before this long trade. We had a successful short trade. Before that, we had a nice long trade. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a similar market. This is the 30-year Treasury. Works in a similar manner. And we had a very similar setup, except it came a day later. We went long, in this case, on the 23rd. You can see our long entry point. Our first target is here. And in this case, it's going to be worth a little bit more on the point value. So I'm going to tell you what the move is going to be to the first target. About $1,400 when I get to this level right here by the second day. And if we can get to this level, of course, that would be $2,800. Now let's kind of see how we're doing. Now in this case, though, what happens when I hit this level and I come back down to here? Remember, this becomes my stop, the break-even level. So on this one, I'm actually flat. So I got the $1,400 there and then back to break-even. And now I would be waiting for a brand new setup, which as of this time I don't have. So on the 30-year U.S. Treasury, little different than the T-notes, I got a nice profit a little bit quicker, and then I exited at break-even on the balance. Now, soybeans is a market a lot of people don't really think that they can trade or even know how to trade. But once again, with the Ultimate Swing Trader, if we can identify markets that swing up and down, they don't have to go just one direction. They don't have to necessarily trend. We just need good swings up and down. They can trade very well with the method, and we don't change anything. We only come in here, right, that once every 24 hours to look for brand new setups. And so last week we had this short trade that set up. This to go short at 12.13, and we had a pretty big target. This is a little bit above average for soybeans. This drop from 12.13 to basically 11.78 and change is about $1,500 of profit. So it's pretty sizable if we're able to get there. Now this trade took some time to develop. As you can see, we had a great first day move. It looked like, hey, no problem, we're going to be getting to this number in a day. But then what happens a lot of times with the markets, right? They tend to swing up and down, and you can see this little move back up here is back to our entry point. So our stop is up here. So we're not close to stop, but unfortunately we had a nice move where we looked like we were about to pick up the first, $1,500 of profit, and then it's sort of started to go against us a little bit. You can see here, still kind of a little bit against us. Here we're down a little bit. Now we're back in profits into the end of the week. Now we get this new setup. Remember, I'm going to ignore that because I'm on a setup right now, and I'm trying to get to this first line right here. Okay, and this is a trade that we've been tracking here for, in this case, took a little bit longer than average. But look at that. I mean, here we are towards the end of the week on the 19th, and we make the target. And we're able to, at that point, bring down our stop from up here to this original entry point. So now our stop is at break even. We've taken off $1,500 on this part of the trade. If we were only targeting this, at the worst case, we're break even. And once again, I'm not sitting here watching this. Like when I showed you, I scrolled through pretty quick. You see this mark here? This is 24 hours. 24 hours. Okay, how much time did I have to put in from here to here? 48 hours. Maybe about 2 minutes, because I come in on the evening of this session and I check it and there's nothing to change. I come in the evening of this, there's nothing to change. I mean, how long does that take to say no change? And then this move happens, and literally almost like 3 days later, we get the move down to target. Again, if you're swing trading, it's a pretty calm approach. If you're having to day trade this, it's a lot of work. So that's one of the real major benefits. And now I'm just trying to get to the second target. We got really close here on this session. I would be very tempted to move my stop down and start to lock in some profit, no matter what, in case the trade comes back against me. And you can see kind of like where we're at now. So if we stick literally to the trading rule that we have not hit the 2x yet, our second target, then my stop would stay where it is, break even. But I'm, typically when I get that close, I'm pretty tempted to start really kind of moving this down and start locking in some of that gain, especially when you get all the way down here. You come in at night and you're right here, and you notice that you're about 80% of the way there. To move this stop down into here, maybe a little bit above this 1x level, and lock in maybe $1,200, to me makes a lot of sense. Worst case, if you don't do that, you're break even, but pretty nice at that point to exit no matter what, especially if you didn't exit anything at the first target. I would think in that case in particular, you would want to make sure that you lock in and make some profit, because you almost had a $3,000 move. You don't want to exit a trade like that break even. Okay, but those are things that are easy to do, because again, you only have to make that decision once per day. You've got time. It's not a rush. It's not a day trade. The market's not going to like spike against you while you're thinking about it, and you can go ahead and make the calm adjustment in your system. So there are a lot of obviously other futures markets you can trade. We've been covering several of them. There's of course crude oil, which we've covered on a regular basis, and definitely the E-mini futures. A lot of you wonder about the Russell and the S&P and the Dow and the Nasdaq. All of those can be charted and traded as well, but it's always nice to show some of these futures markets a lot of people don't think about, but these markets actually trend the best overall in futures, more than anything. If you're thinking futures trading, so that's why I like to kind of show people this, because it many times opens up a new world for a lot of people that they didn't realize, or they just never thought about how they could successfully trade these markets without either day trading or trying to figure out a brand new strategy. Exact same methodology that we see working on the Forex, we implement into futures. So I'm going to wrap up this video there. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. We do monitor those on a regular basis, and we'll be happy to answer those for you. Thank you then.